Hi, welcome to our brand new Microsoft Azure Fundamentals Certificate Exam Dummy Question. In this video, we are going to discuss all the dummy questions of the Microsoft Azure Fundamentals exam. I'm your host Kushal Mehta from UpDegree, and let's get started. You have an on-premises network that contains several servers. You plan to migrate all the servers to Azure. You need to recommend a solution to ensure that some of these servers are available if a single Azure data center goes offline for an extended period. What should you include in the recommendation? And here are the options. Option A, fault tolerance. Option B, elasticity. Option C, scalability. Option D, low latency. The correct answer is option A, fault tolerance. Explanation. Fault tolerance is the ability of the system to continue to function in the event of a failure of some of its components. In this question, you could have servers that are replicated across data centers. Availability zones expand the level of control. You have to maintain the availability of the applications and data on your VMs. Availability zones are unique physical locations within an Azure region. Each zone is made up of one or more data centers, equipped with independent power, cooling, and networking. To ensure resiliency, there are a minimum of 3 separate zones in an enabled regions. The physical separation of availability zones within a region protects applications and data from data center failures. With availability zones, Azure offers industry-best 99.99% VM uptime (SLA). By architecting your solutions to use replicated VMs in zones, you can protect your applications and data from the loss of a data center. If one zone is compromised, then replicated apps and data are instantly available in another zone. Next question. What are 2 characteristics of the public cloud? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. And here are the options. Option A, dedicated hardware. Option B, unsecured connections. Option C, limited storage. Option D, metered pricing. Option E, self-service management. And the correct answer is option D, metered pricing, and option E, self-service management. Section, describe cloud concepts. Explanation. With the public cloud, you get pay-as-you-go pricing. You pay only for what you use, no capex costs. With the public cloud, you have self-service management. You are responsible for the deployment and configuration of the cloud resources such as virtual machines or websites. The underlying hardware that hosts the cloud resources is managed by the cloud provider. Incorrect answers. Option A. You don't have dedicated hardware. The underlying hardware is shared, so you could have multiple customers using cloud resources hosted on the same physical hardware. Option B. Connections to the public cloud are secure. Option C. Storage is not limited. You can have as much storage as you like. Next question. Your company plans to migrate all its data and resources to Azure. The company's migration plan states that only platform as a service solutions must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that meets the company migration plan. Solution. You create an Azure App Service and Azure SQL databases. Does this meet the goal? Option A, yes. Option B, no. The correct answer is option A, yes. Section. Describe cloud concepts. Explanation. Azure App Service and Azure SQL databases are examples of Azure PaaS solutions. Therefore, this solution does meet the goal. Next question. Your company plans to migrate all its data and resources to Azure. The company's migration plan states that only platform as a service solutions must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that meets the company migration plan. Solution: you create an Azure App Service and Azure virtual machines that have Microsoft SQL Server installed. Does this meet the goal? Option A, yes. Option B, no. The correct answer is option B, no. Section: describe cloud concepts. Explanation: Azure App Service is a PaaS, Platform as a Service. However, Azure Virtual Machines are an IaaS, Infrastructure as a Service. Therefore, this solution does not meet the goal. Next question. Your company plans to migrate all its data and resources to Azure. The company's migration plan states that only Platform as a Service solutions must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that meets the company migration plan. Solution: you create an Azure App Service and Azure storage accounts. Does this meet the goal? And here are the options. Option A, yes. Option B, no. The correct answer is option B, no. Section: describe cloud concepts. Explanation: Azure App Service is a PaaS service, Platform as a Service. However, Azure Storage Accounts are an IaaS service, Infrastructure as a Service. Therefore, this solution does not meet the goal. Next question. Your company hosts an accounting application named App1 that is used by all customers of the company. App1 has low usage during the first 3 weeks of each month and very high usage during the last week of each month. Which benefit of Azure Cloud Services supports cost management for this type of usage pattern? And here are the options. Option A, high availability. Option B, high latency. Option C, elasticity. Option D, load balancing. The correct answer is option C, elasticity. Section: describe cloud concepts. Explanation: elasticity in this case is the ability to provide additional compute resource when needed and reduce the compute resource when not needed to reduce costs. Autoscaling is an example of elasticity. Elastic computing is the ability to quickly expand or decrease computer processing, memory, and storage resources to meet changing demands without worrying about capacity planning and engineering for peak usage. Typically controlled by system monitoring tools, elastic computing matches the amount of resources allocated to the amount of resources actually needed without disrupting operations. With cloud elasticity, a company avoids paying for unused capacity or idle resources and doesn't have to worry about investing in purchase or maintenance of additional resources and equipment. Next question. You plan to migrate a web application to Azure. The web application is accessed by external users. You need to recommend a cloud deployment solution to minimize the amount of administrative effort used to manage the web application. What should you include in the recommendations? Option A, software as a service. Option B, platform as a service. Option C, infrastructure as a service. Option D, database as a service. And the correct answer is option B, platform as a service. Explanation: Azure App Service is a platform as a service offering that lets you create web and mobile apps for any platform or device and connect to data anywhere, in the cloud or on-premises. App Service includes the web and mobile capabilities that were previously delivered separately as Azure websites and Azure mobile services. Next question. You have an on-premises network that contains 100 servers. You need to recommend a solution that provides additional resources to your users. The solution must minimize capital and operational expenditure costs. What should you include in the recommendation? And here are the options. A complete migration to the public cloud. Option B. An additional data center. Option C. A private cloud. Option D. A hybrid cloud. And the correct answer is option D. A hybrid cloud. Section. Describe cloud concepts. Explanation. A hybrid cloud is a combination of a private cloud and a public cloud. Capital expenditure is the spending of money upfront for infrastructure such as new servers. With a hybrid cloud, you can continue to use the on-premises servers while adding new servers in the public cloud. Azure, for example. Adding new servers in Azure minimizes the capital expenditure costs, as you are not paying for the new servers, as you would if you deployed new servers on premises. Incorrect answers? Option A. A complete migration of 100 servers to the public cloud would involve a lot of operational expenditure, the cost of migrating all the servers. Option B. An additional data center would involve a lot of capital expenditure, the cost of the new infrastructure. Option C. A private cloud is hosted on on-premises servers, so this would involve a lot of capital expenditure, the cost of the new infrastructure to host the private cloud.